She participates in symposia, brown bag luncheons, campus committees, and academic society events. She attends theater productions, sporting events, and was once even spotted at a campus barn dance. An educator now myself, I see how much more than psychology Jerusha taught me. Though I hope to someday achieve even a flash of her magic, her lessons are never far from my mind. Know your content and teach it passionately. Never cease in your own learning and in your attempt to better yourself. Cultivate the potential in each person. Believe in students and let them know that you do. Seek to make each and every individual feel recognized and valued. The esteemed and venerable group, the Lovin' Spoonful, once asked, "Do you believe in magic?" I know that I do because I have experienced the teaching of Jerusha Detweiler-Bedell.
I thought it would be fitting for me to start today with a story. Imagine with me for a minute. Transport yourself from this setting to your doctor's office. Bear with me for a minute. Imagine that you're sitting in your doctor's waiting room with two other people. After a few minutes, though, you notice that smoke is beginning to drift into the room from a vent in an adjacent door. After a few more minutes, smoke isn't just drifting, it is pouring into the room. It's beginning to fill the room that you're sitting in. So here's my question. How quickly will you get up out of your seat in the waiting room and alert the receptionist that something's wrong? And will you get up even more quickly because you're not alone in that room? There's two other people there with you. Well, a study just like this was carried out 40 years ago by social psychologists Bibb Latané and John Darley, and they found that most people report the smoke if they're in the waiting room alone. But if they share the waiting room with other people, they fail to do so. They sit there passively. The moral here is disturbing. When we're part of a larger group, most of us will passively sit in that doctor's waiting room, coughing, rubbing our eyes, waving the smoke away, as participants actually did in this study. Now, why does this happen? Perhaps we feel inhibited in the presence of others. Maybe we somehow use other people's inaction as important information and we figure, well, if they're not doing anything, then I shouldn't either. Or maybe we assume that responsibility doesn't lie on our shoulders, but on the shoulders of the other people in the room with us. But no matter what, we fail to act. Now, the college classroom can be remarkably similar to the smoke in the room situation, although I assure you that smoke is rarely a byproduct of my teaching. At least I hope so. What happens is that when students meet one-on-one with me, I can ask them questions. I can find the inroads to their passions. But when we're sitting in a classroom and when students are surrounded by others, it becomes all too easy, all too natural to fall into this role of the unresponsive bystander. So my first goal when I enter the classroom is to transform my student from bystander to participant, so they don't just sit there observing, but they engage.